Hi, my name is Joseph.
Nice to meet you. My name's Sean.
Nice to meet you, Sean. Um, I'm going to be your therapist for today. I just wanted to introduce myself and get a little bit of ice broken a little bit between us so you feel comfortable talking to us because I know no one really likes talking to a stranger
of
off
course
the
not.
bat. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about myself. I have been counseling for the last 3 years. I have pretty good record with helping clients. I also have recently been trying to get in physical health. I also want to let you know about confidentiality, that anything that this is a safe environment. Nothing leaves these walls unless I feel that you're a threat to anyone or a threat to yourself. I also wanted to allow myself to be open to you because I don't judge when it comes to one-on-one sessions. I want you to let me know anything that you don't feel comfortable with. I want you to be open as much as you can. I hope to make you feel comfortable so you could be open. Now, after me telling all about myself, now what brought you here today in this session?
What brought me here today was going through a lot of very deep forms of depression, and it's very hard for me to deal with it.
Okay. So when you get in your depression, what do you feel?
Normally I just want to be left alone. It usually starts because my dad is like very push away from me type behavior.
Okay.
And it's usually because I've always been insulted in school. I'm never really treated nicely, even though people will always be like, oh, we love Sean, we like Sean, but then there's always behind the back. And then there's certain people that are of the popular area that will always seem the need to find a way to insult me on an everyday basis. And it kind of messes up my day and kind of makes me very less motivated to accomplish anything.
Okay.
And it's very hard to want to go back to school knowing that this is a consistent thing that always happens and it never stops.
So you feel like you can't like divide yourself from these feelings at all? Like you don't, like when you say you're not motivated or to get out of your depression, and you feel like one instant can ruin your whole day. So through this session between me and you, I want to work on having you not have one situation all day should ruin your mood, because that shouldn't be anyone. We should be able to get through certain situations and not have to one little thing ruin our day. So that's one thing that I want to work on between you and me in our sessions. I want you to feel like, okay, able to push it away so it doesn't ruin your day. Now, you were going on the lines of your parent relationship with each other. What can we go back to why you feel disconnected with your father?
Well, as a kid, it was fine. He would take me to the park, play basketball, get ice cream. That's the typical thing we would do. But after I reached about 10, 11 years old, his perception on me just changed of his own merits. And for some reason, he felt like I was this bad kid. Even though I technically was, because I would fight every single day, but that was mainly because of me dealing with the people that would bully me on a consistent basis. So because of that, that's why I would fight. My mom knew this, but my dad wouldn't listen and believe that, and just felt like I was just starting to be bad.
But who told your father this? Did you tell your father this, or did your mother tell your father?
The school informed my house first, so technically the school informed them, and my mom knows my behaviors and knows I would never start anything with anyone. And if anyone was in a fight with me, it's usually that person's fault, always, all the time, because I would never want to bother anyone. But people would always consistently bother me, and at some point, that was the only way I saw I can fight my way out of it. Like, I'm sure like the average person wishes just to fight them and just tell them to leave you alone.
as children, I want to just go back to this, and I'm no judgment here. I know that we feel like we can't sometimes talk to our parents and let them know how we feel, and like when they're always hearing stories from other people, they don't like tend to believe it until they see them themselves. So do you feel like if you were still 10 years old, would you feel like you were able to talk to him and tell him like this is actually happening, Dad?
Probably not, because anytime if at that point, it's anytime either me or my mom, you would speak to him, he would just either ignore us completely or walk away and not want to hear what we have to say, and that still happens today.
Well,
so that's why we technically just
parted ways.
No, not parted ways, but because I still live at home.
Oh,
but it's just we just let it go and don't care and just mind our own business.
Oh, so you pretend like it's not there, though, like that little disconnect that you're feeling.
Not pretend that it's not there, but just like don't force it, like we've been trying for years, basically.
Okay. Do you feel like you should force it? Would you wanna start a relationship like that and force to have a no one should force.
The motivation kind of went away because my fiance even was upset with me one time extremely because she thought I did this on purpose, and she didn't really kind of believe it because obviously she's never seen it.
Yeah.
But I physically was on voice chat with her. I didn't put her face there, but I brought her close enough to hear the conversation.
Okay.
And I spoke to my dad. I apologized for things I really didn't have to apologize for, saying my behavior or anything. And he had nothing to say, walked away and just said a smart remark, and then just kept it going.
Well, fortunately with that, we can't control how other people how other people are going to react to a certain situation. So throughout our lives, we need to focus more on lines you can't control everything. You just have to control what comes from you and how you control the situation. So I would really like for you to start thinking about maybe kind of if you're up to it, if you feel comfortable with it, because I don't like to force my clients to do anything they don't want to do, but I am here to encourage you to try and have a relationship with your father, and just don't lose, to gain, well, not lose, but gain the motivation again, to start a conversation, or just a little thing like, hey, how's it going at sports, a little something, because everyone really should have some kind of relationship, even if you just said, hey, Dad, what's up? Would you have any other issues or situations that you wanted to talk about in this session other than that? Are you feeling any kind of...
Well, because of that, it formed a thing in my head as a child. Maybe I'm the problem child.
Okay.
And I'm causing... Maybe... Because at the time, I remember my dad complaining about finances, so I used to think it's my fault and everything. So... on top of that, and then people at school would say very malicious things. I'm pretty sure the average kid doesn't say, some kids would say, you shouldn't exist, why are you here, you're a waste of space, you're ugly, don't amount to anything, type of thing. That led to me just, as a kid, saying, you know what, maybe if I jump out this window from my room and maybe everything can just go away.
So you have been experiencing suicidal thoughts in the past? Okay. With that kind of situation, and I know how you said before, with financial reasonings from your parents or whatnot, I know kids seem to put all their problems on themselves, that they always think they're the reason that situation goes on. I would like to change that scenario. I shouldn't say but it should be more along the lines it's easy for you to feel like you're the cause. But not everything a child does wrong is going to have a certain severe reaction like you're talking about today. So I wanted to reassure that as you being a child, and I understand these feelings are probably still with you today, of course, correct?
Yeah, it stopped now.
stuff.
The suicidal thoughts, but the depression is still a little bit there.
Okay.
My fiance has helped me a little bit with that, and my close friends have helped me a lot with that. But it used to trickle. It used to be very severe as a child. Then
Okay.
it trickled every once in a while as I became a teenager, and it usually would come up whenever a strong disappointment would come up.
Okay.
That's when I
That's
would be like,
understandable.
maybe I should just end it there.
Well, can you elaborate more on like what your fiance does to get you out of the depression?
She usually joins me in playing games online.
Okay, so you get the
She-
stress, to relieve the stress and
Usually,
anxiety.
video games is like my
Okay.
main source of getting out of it, or
That's a
music, but
healthy-
mainly video games would usually help it. So she would do that. She would always encourage going out. Sometimes, just in general, talking to her
Okay.
helps out a lot, and talking with friends and having just a good time kind of makes all those thoughts go away. Because usually when I'm by myself, it kind of tends to happen. But usually when I'm with them and my fiance, pretty much is like non-existent.
That's good. Like you.
But I would like for it to be by myself without having to get help.
Gotcha. But it's still, even though you're not doing it yourself and you're getting help, there's no problem saying you need help with something and having someone to come and help you. That's the number one sign of it. It's like very healthy to do that. And you use, instead of using a negative factor like drugs or alcohol, you're using games to relieve your stress. So, after this session, since we're almost finished now, I would like for you to go home and really think about, just look at your fiance and see how she helps you through it. And take some of the factors that she uses and try to practice it and do it yourself. So you don't have to rely on her to get you out of that. So you can pick it up and do it yourself.
Okay.
All right.
I'll think about it definitely.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your help.